graded assignment is not submitted because submission button is not showing on my websites, ma'am.
So you can check with.
I'm check, ma'am, again and again, but it's not showing.
Then you can mail to the support group. You
And
must have gotten a mail ID, right?
that's a reason, ma'am. Weeks second, I can't submitted graded assignment, ma'am. Also not showing week fours,
Okay, just mail to the support team regarding this.
ma'am. I send a message, but not anybody else can reply me, ma'am.
Okay, so your submission options not there, you're saying. Is it?
Yes, ma'am. Not a visual submission button is not anywhere. I seen many time and pressing that, but not showing that.
Okay, so and you've mailed to the support team as well.
Okay, ma'am. Please, ma'am,
Because
because I hope
have
tomorrow
you
is last date of submission.
yeah, have you
Because,
mailed to the support team?
yeah. Yes, ma'am. Mail. I also I hope regarding reminder sending IIT email, but not any help.
Okay, just give me 1 minute. You're talking about week 2, right?
Yes, ma'am. Week 2 and also week 3 and week 4. Week 4 is
Okay.
I hope 11th March is last date, but submission button is not showing on.
Okay. So I've sent the mail ID in the chat box. So just check it and mail to them. So can you tell me? You have to speak to them. Just mail him. Are you there in the meeting?
Okay, ma'am. Okay, thank you.
Now start with the questions. The first question is already on the screen. guys tried it? Tried this one while we were discussing all of this?
Right.
So, let's discuss. Says that you've been given a quantity which in the general form, and it says the sum of the roots is plus 4 and the product of the roots is minus 12. So, what's the relation between the coefficients and the sum? Let's say alpha and beta are your roots. Then, what's the relation between alpha, beta, and ABC? So, we have alpha plus beta, sum of roots equals minus b by a,
Minus B by
and we have alpha, beta
C
equals
by
c by a. So, your alpha and beta are given to be 4 and 12. So, 4 minus 12 is going to be minus b by a, and 4 times minus 12, so it's minus 48. This is going to be c by a. 6 minus 8, so 8 is going to be b by a. And here you have b equals 8a. What would be it? Yeah, we need this value 4b plus 3c by a, right? 4b plus 3c by a. We can't solve for all the three coefficients because there's not enough information. So we can't solve for, we won't have a unique solution. We won't have a unique ABC, right? So B is equals to 8A, C is equals to minus 48A. Now you don't have, this will not give you a unique solution. So you have to use these two things to find the solution, and this solution will not be a unique solution, right? Because you can have several values of ABC which satisfy these two equations. But we just have to find this thing. We don't have to find the coefficients here. So this value will be 4b is 4 times 8a, and 3c is going to be 3 times minus 48a by a. So a we take it common, and then here you'll be left with 32 minus 8. Give you the answer then. There we have 4.
minus B by A is itself given 4. That sum of the roots is given as 4.
Yes, ma'am.
Thought it's
The sum of the roots is already given plus 4. So A alpha
Mhm.
plus beta should be equal to
So
plus
it will
4.
be B is equal to minus 4A.
thank you. I thought
Yeah.
that these values can I so because not of some of it's given to you.
Ma'am, first of all, we find equation and then put in the value in this equation, then find the answer, ma'am. So
Yeah, I mean,
this process is wrong, ma'am.
which process we have
Uh,
been given that
alpha plus beta and alpha into beta is given, and then find the equation. X square is x square minus alpha
Yes,
plus
don't
beta
need
x.
the
It
x
is easy
square
for us.
actually. Don't need the x
I
square.
don't.
Alpha plus beta is given minus b by a, which is equal to 4. So
Okay.
b becomes minus
B
4a.
minus
Yeah,
4.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so we can put b minus 4a. Similarly, c by a is nothing but minus 12. So
Oh
c
yeah,
becomes minus 12a. So we
and
can
A
put
is one.
that b and
Yeah.
c value in the equation and we get the
I
final
hope
as
52 is the right answer.
Yes, I
Yes,
guess.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do this here. This is alpha plus beta, and the sum is given to be 4. That means this value is given to be 4. Minus b by a is 4. That means your b is minus 4a. And from here, your alpha beta product is given to be minus 12, which is c by a. That means your c is equals to minus 12a. So these are the two. Now also you can't find the equation. There won't be a unique equation, right?
Yeah, ma'am. This process is
There's no
also good.
unique equation.
This process is also good.
You'll have to use this. I don't think you can find the you can't find the quadratic equation
Yeah.
because there's
Yeah.
not enough information given to you. So you have to use this way only.
You.
So this is given to be minus 4a, and this is given to be minus 12a. Common from here, minus 16, and this will be
Minus
minus
36.
36. Minus. Can we move to the next question if this one's clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Give this one a try. Very simple one. It should not take.
Ma'am, 60 is answer. Oh,
Ma'am, 2, 1.
Okay, let's do this one here. It says the sum. You have to find the sum of the x coordinates and y coordinates, and this is given to you that the slope of the parabola at is, let's say your p point is x comma y, and you have to find.
ma'am, 3 is answer. I hope.
Yeah, the answer. So you have, let's say this is the point that we're looking for, and we have to find x plus y. That's the question. And it says that the slope at this point is 2. So the slope of a parabola is given by 2ax plus b, right? So this is going to be 6x minus 8. And then it says that so this is general slope, and at point x comma y, so it's the same thing. So at point x, your slope is given to be 4. That means this is slope, and slope at x equals to 4. No, it's for these points x naught, y naught instead. Slope at x naught is given to be 4. 6 naught minus 8. You don't need this. I have written this thing only for you to know that we're finding the slope at a particular point, and we're substituting that point here. Otherwise, you don't need to use x naught at all. This will be 6x naught minus 8, and this should be 4. That means the x naught, the required point, should be 8 plus 4, 12 by 6, which is x naught is. And then if you substitute, because this is the point, and it's a point on this parabola,
May I
right?
speak? Your voice is not clear, as if you are speaking from a very distance. You have placed your
Yes,
mic in a
ma'am.
space.
Yes, ma'am.
Is it better now?
Better.
Okay.
Repeat that again.
Sorry, what? Was there a doubt? Someone was saying something. What we've done so
My
far
voice
is
is
we've
not clear.
taken we
Or
need
not.
the sum of. Is it still not clear? Is it not clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am. Clear. Next step.
Yes, ma'am, it is clear.
Okay. So if this is a point, then you need to find x naught plus y naught. And for that, it's given to you that the slope is equal to 4 at the point that we're talking about. So at this point, your slope is 4. This is the general equation of the slope. Slope equal to 6x minus 8. You substitute x naught here, and you should get 4, which gives you the value of x naught equals 2. Now you have to find y naught, and we know that x naught and y naught lie on this parabola, right? 3x squared minus 8x. So your x naught and y naught should lie on this one. That means if you substitute x naught here, you'll get the value of y naught, right? So your y naught is equals to 3 times 2 squared minus 8 times 2 plus 5. So this is 4, 12 minus 16 plus 5. So this is 1. That means your y naught is 1, x naught is 2. That and sum will be, you need to find x naught plus y naught, right? That will be 2 plus 1.
3.
This should be the answer. Is this okay to everyone?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. If there's any doubt in any of the questions, even if it's something minor, you guys can ask. If this one's clear, then you try this question.
Ma'am, what about using minus b by 2a?
What about it? Are you talking about the previous question or this
Yes,
one?
ma'am. Previous question.
The previous question. Uh, you guys meanwhile can take the screenshot of this one and try this one because I'm going to scroll up. So this question, yeah. So what are you asking?
Finding the x coordinate by minus b by 2a.
So you want to use minus b by 2a. Is it?
Ma'am, can you show me the question?
Just take the screenshot. Is it done?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Yeah. So about the doubt here, you want to use minus b by 2a, is it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let's do it your way. I don't see how you can use minus b by 2a here because that gives you the x coordinate of the vertex, right? Whereas you have to find the x coordinate and y coordinate of this point P, where your slope is 4. So how are you planning to use minus b by 2a?
Okay, so we can't do this by using this one.
So if you have something in mind, then maybe we can try.
No, ma'am.
Okay. So for if you don't have anything particular in mind, then minus b by 2a and f of minus b by 2a gives you the vertex, right? So this thing is for the vertex of your parabola. If this is your parabola, then this is for this point, right? And we are not looking for this point, we're looking for the point where your slope is 4.
Okay, okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Ma'am, why would you use this formula for slope 2ax plus
Okay.
b?
You have your slope is basically because we've not done yet derivatives yet. So the slope for, let's say, if your parabola is ax square plus bx plus c, then equals 0. This is the equation of your parabola equals y, let's say. If this is your function, the parabola, then the slope of this parabola is given by, we've discussed this in the this is given by 2ax plus b. So let's say the slope is given by this point, this equation. So let's say if you have a point 2 comma 1, or not 2 comma 1, if you have to find the slope at slope, let's call this parabola p. The slope of parabola p at x equals to, let's say, 3 is going to be 2a 3 plus b. So that will be 6a plus b. That's how you find the slope. This is basically the
Got it,
formula
ma'am.
for the slope of parabola.
Ma'am,
And
can
this,
Okay,
we
ma'am. So,
use a derivative approach here?
yeah, the derivative gives you the same thing, right? What's the derivative of this? Ax square
Ma'am,
yeah,
plus
ma'am.
bx plus
2ax
c.
plus
yeah,
b.
yep, ma'am.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. If someone's not familiar with the concept of derivatives, they can just learn this.
Okay, ma'am.
You'll anyway have to learn derivatives and all later. But for now, you can use this one. That
And
works.
ma'am, also derivative approach can at the same time we also find maxima and minima. So it is also good, but that is preferable.
Yeah. In parabolas and all, you're only going to, what happens is in other functions, their maxima and minima, they're not certain. We're not certain about those things. But in parabola, you're only going to have one maxima or minima, right?
Yeah, ma'am.
So this thing gives you that maxima minima point. This one is enough for a parabola. But you need to use derivatives in other functions.
Ma'am, what if we use fx instead of y? So,
Just
yeah,
what
fx is equals to y. If we use, then is it y equals to fx or not?
I think these y, fx and all are, these are just variables. So don't get confused with those things. This is
Okay, ma'am.
when you write fx, that means when you say, let's say you have a function and you say y is equals to x square is a function, right? Then we can write this y as fx, which basically means function of x. If you had y is equals to t square here, you can write this thing as ft, which means function of t. That's it. That's what it means.
Okay.
So these are basically, they're used interchangeably. They don't matter here. And I'm not using the, if you have said that this is fx, then this should be f dash x, right? But I'm not using that notation here because you guys are not familiar with that notation.
Yeah, ma'am, you just
The
take it
derivative
as a
notation.
variable.
Yeah, that's why I've only written y here.
Got it.
Okay. So is anyone done with this question?
Ma'am, I hope third option is right.
Option D, ma'am.
Okay, let's see. Let's quickly go through the question and the
Yes, ma'am,
options
option
first.
D.
Okay. So this says a ball is thrown from the top of a building. There's a building, the height of the ball from the ground after t seconds is given by. So this is the height and this is the time. So t is time, h is height, right? And it's given by this parabolic equation. Consider the foot of the building at the origin. So you have a building, and let's say the foot of the building, that means your this point, and you have the building here. So this is, let's say this is your building, and this is the height of the building, right? The height of the ball in feet from the ground after, and you're throwing the ball off from the top of the building. So you're throwing the ball from here, right? So you throw it from here. It goes like this, correct? This is a very rough sketch. So, and what are the questions that you've been asked? So the options are about the maximum height it can reach in 1 second, and then the height of the building. Okay. So first thing that you can do is you have to find the ball and the maximum height it reaches, right? And this is the parabolic equation that it follows. So if you have to find the maximum height the ball can reach, that means you have to find the maximum point as in the vertex of this equation, isn't it?
Ma'am, 1 second.
Yes, ma'am.
Vertex. I find vertex. It is highest points, ma'am.
Yeah, if you have a parabola, then let's
Yeah.
see if your
Vertex.
parabola is this,
Then
then
find a
vertex
vertex.
gives you, vertex
Yeah.
gives you the highest point you can reach.
Yeah.
If your parabola is like this, it gives you the lowest point you can reach.
Yeah. So
So
it
in
is downward open parabola, ma'am, because minus a.
you have a negative sign here, it has to be opening downwards, a parabola that open downwards, and then if you have a maximum,
Vertex would be
that's what it
minus
means.
b by 2a, right? Which is -1.
Thrown the ball from here, and it's somewhat like this, right? So to find the maximum height, it obviously goes a certain height, and then from there it goes down again. So you have to find this maximum height. That means you have to find the y coordinate of maximum height means the y coordinate of this vertex, right? And the time in which it reaches the maximum height is the x coordinate of vertex, right? Because if this is your vertex, it's of the form THT. So this T gives you the time that it takes for you to reach the vertex, and HT gives you the height of this height, right? This height is HT.
Is it multi-select option?
Yeah.
Ma'am, option ABD should be answered.
Let's first find the maximum point, the vertex point. So vertex point is given by minus b by 2a and f of, in this case, h of minus b by 2. Minus b by 2a is going to be equal to 4 and
4, 1.
will be 1. First coordinate of this tuple is 1. And then for ht, what you do is you substitute 1 in this equation. So you will get minus 2 plus 4 plus 6.
4 minus 2, 14.
The maximum height will be 80. And that maximum height will be attained in 1 and whatever the unit of time is given. So it's given in seconds, right? So in 1 second. That means what does the option say? This says, the first one says the ball reaches its maximum height after 1 second. So it does reach after 1 second, right?
Yeah.
So this should be correct. Then the height of the building is 16 feet.
No.
We have not found that yet. Let's work on that too. And do we have the maximum height reached by the ball is 18 feet.
Yeah,
That's also correct. Let's work on the other two options too. One is about the height of the building. So the height of the building is this, right? And for that, you need to find this point, right? So obviously, x comma 0, no, 0 comma, because your x coordinate is obviously 0 here. And we need to find the y coordinate, right? So, and how do you find? So if you already know the x coordinate and this point lies on this parabola, right?
Yeah.
So firstly, this point has the form 0 comma some y coordinate, and secondly, this point lies on this parabola. That means this point should satisfy this equation, right? So you will substitute t equals to 0 here. You will get h of 0. So this should be h of 0, right? This y that we're looking for should be h of 0. And your h of 0 is 0 plus 0 plus 16.
16.
That means this point is going to be 0 comma 16.
Which is also correct.
That means your Yes.
I also applying this approach. First of all, we differentiate this equation and find a slope and put n equal to 0. Then find the value of t is equal to 1, because nothing but this equations differentiate that minus b by 2a is equal, differentiate this equation and put in the value of equation is 0, so we find the slope of this.
Yeah, I think you're talking about if you have the equation is if you have see if you have this equation ax square plus bx plus c, and instead of directly using the vertex as minus b by 2a,
Yeah.
you're doing it
Yeah,
the slope way. It gives you the same value, right?
yeah,
If
yeah,
you do it the slope way, you will get 2ax plus b equals 0. Then you will find x such that this thing becomes 0. So you'll get
yes, ma'am.
x equals to minus b by 2a. So it's
Yeah,
the same thing.
yeah.
That's why you can directly use this formula. That's going to save you time.
If you
So
can explain how, if we need to find the y coordinate at the vertex, then how can we do that? I know it's done by this, but I came up with somewhere I saw like d by 4 is something like that. So if you can explain that.
by 4,
And
what
that
exact
is 4ac minus b square divided by 4a square. The formula.
formula for what?
I'm
Formula for
getting confused
ht.
between the range and
Yes,
domain
ma'am. Formula for the y
variable.
coordinate of the vertex.
Yes,
Okay,
yes. He mentioned
if
it
you
correct.
have ax square, your ht is ax square plus bx plus c, and you have your x is obviously the vertex. X coordinate of the vertex is minus b by 2a, right? And here we keep writing h of minus b by 2a, but instead of this, it will just put this value in here in h. Substitute x equals to minus b by 2a, you will get, and actually you should take hx here because it's a function of x. So this will be a, and this will be minus b by 2a squared plus b minus b by 2a plus c, right? So from here you will get 4a squared b squared a, and here you will get minus b squared by 2a. So if you want to make it 4a squared, you can just do 4a squared here, and here you will have 2a, right? And then here you have c. So you can do 4a square here and 4a square here too. So this is going to give you 4a square in denominator, and here you will have 4a square c minus b square a. And if you simplify this thing, you will get 4ac minus b square by 4a. So you can use this
And
thing, but it's
why should we using this formula instead of we can use also by slope also?
also this is what you get using slope. So this the claim that your vertex is minus b by 2a, comma h of minus b by 2a. This follows from slope. That's how you derive this thing. We have already used the slope concepts, and that's how we found the vertex.
I
So
think it is good for us to use slope formula because it is a building concept. So we have a straight line and highest and lowest point also, minimum and
you can
maximum.
use the slope formula.
I
This is just the shortcut because you're going to get the same thing using the slope formula.
okay.
This
Ma'am,
is what you get using slope formula.
is this method which is described here goes same for the maxima as well as minima? The y coordinate of vertex of parabola will give both the maxima as well as minima.
you're going to, if you have a parabola, and we're only talking about parabolas for now, you
Ha, yes,
only
ma'am.
you're only going to have either maxima or minima. You can't have both, right?
Yes, ma'am. We have either one of them, but we if we have a parabola opening upward, then it is for the minima, right?
Then this entire thing is for minima.
Yes, ma'am. And that minimum value is given by the y coordinate of the vertex of the parabola.
Correct. That will be h of minus b by 2a.
Yeah, yeah. So, and ma'am, if it is given like a parabola opening downward, then then same the minimum, then same the maximum, that is for maxima, but the maximum value is given by same minus b by 2a, or we use minus d by 4a.
No, no, it's the same. The vertex is minus b by 2a, comma h of minus b by 2a. So either the vertex is going to be the point of minima or it's going to be the point of maximum, depending on whether your parabola opens upwards or downwards, right?
Okay, ma'am, but that maximum value for the maxima is given by h of minus b by 2a. That I
Yeah,
was asking.
yeah, both. Yes, the minimum value, and if your parabola has a minimum value, then the minimum value is given by h minus b by 2a. If your parabola has a maximum value, then the maximum value is given by h of minus b by 2a.
Okay, so it depend upon the information that we have, which type of parabola is it, maxima or minima, and the same thing give me the maximum or minimum value.
Yeah. So
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
In the second step, I think you have made a mistake. Like minus b square is fine. Yeah, yeah, here. Minus b square by 2a. How 4a square? You are getting 4a square from squaring this. So this would be 2a only.
we're squaring 2a, right? So 2a
Ha,
squared
this
is
this this term is fine. The second term I'm
okay.
talking about.
But multiplied, and you're going to get minus b square by this. You're going to get minus b square by 2a, right? So I
2a, correct.
multiplied and divided by 2a. That's it. To make the term look like this one.
So
To
we
make the
need to do it
denominator same. That's
throughout the the equation, throughout the equation, multiply and divide by 2a.
no, I'm just doing it with this term. If you have minus b square by 2a, I can do this here, right? I can do 2a by 2a. That means I'm just multiplying this term with 1,
Yeah.
right?
Yes, ma'am.
That is
Ma'am,
it.
in generalization, I can conclude that, ma'am, that is the vertex of parabola. That is x coordinate is minus b by 2a, y coordinate is minus d by 4a. The x coordinate will give me the point of maxima or minima, but the maximum value or the value on that point is given by the y coordinate.
Right.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am, please show me next question. I want to solve next, please.
Just 1 second. We'll just quickly go through this one, and then so this was for this formula is just too much to learn. Instead, you can just substitute it here. Okay, let's coming back to the question. The question was, we're done with the question, is it? We've already found that the height of the building is 16, and then the ball travels in the air for 4 seconds before it reaches the ground. So you have to find
The roots.
yeah, you have to find P of this coordinate. So if this is the coordinate where it touches the ground, you have to find the time, right? So you have to find the roots of this parabola where your h becomes 0. That means you have to find the roots of ht. So this is, let's quickly find the roots. The equation is minus 2t squared plus 4t plus 16. So it's going to have two roots, and one of them is going to lie here on the negative side, right? So we don't have to consider that. We have to consider this one, the positive one. Let's see the roots. So what are the roots of this?
And
Right.
one is -2, another one is
It's
4.
uh, minus 2 and 4. Yeah, it's t minus. Okay. So it's 4 and minus 2, right?
Yes, ma'am.
This equals to 0 implies your t is going to be equal to either 4 or minus 2. You just have to solve this using any of the methods we've done so far. And that means, so this means this point is minus 2 comma h of minus 2, and this one is
4,0.
2 comma, yeah, h of minus 2 is anyway 0, right? So you can write as 0, 0 and 4 comma 0. And this option says the ball travels in the air for 4 seconds, because this is the time. So it travels 4 seconds and then it hits the ground here. The height becomes 0. That means this option should be correct as well. So all of the options are correct in this one. Can we move to the next question if this one's clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Yeah. Okay, this is the next question. Give this one a try. I think there is nothing conceptual here. So we can just try this question here. It's about the point of intersection of this parabola and the straight line this. So, or you can just say y equals to x plus 3, and then we have 1 by 4 here, right? So to find the
Ma'am,
point of intersection,
B
yes,
option and C option. I hope.
let's see. So you have to find the point of intersection of this curve and this curve. The point of intersection of 1 and 2, you equate the y coordinates, because the y coordinate should be same for the point of intersection of both these curves, right? So this is this and this. So from here you'll have 2x squared minus x minus 3 equals 0, right? We have just simplified this, and this is the equation, quadratic equation that we get. And then we just have to find the roots of this, which are going to be minus b. So it is 1 plus minus square root of 1 minus 4ac, 4 times minus 3 and 2. So it's 6, and this becomes plus. So, and then we have 4 here. So these are going to be roots, which gives you 2 roots, which is 1 plus minus 5 by 4. So it's 6 by 4 and 6 by 4, or you can say 3 by 2. Or you have minus 1.
Yes.
Question. That means you'll have, so 1 is 3 by 2. Let's put 3 by 2 in this one. So you have y equals to x plus, or you can say x square by 2, right? So you can put it in either equations. If you want to put x equals to here, then also you will get y. If you will put it in this equation, then because, so put this in any of these two equations. I'm putting it here, so you will get 9 by 4, and here you'll have 2, so this will be 9 by 8. So y is equals to 9 by 8 for x equals to 3 by 2. and your y will be equals to minus 1 squared, so this will be half for x equals to minus 1. So the points will be minus 1 and half, this one.
And can you show the question?
And then the other point that we got was 3 by 2 and 9 by 8, right? We got
Yes, ma'am.
3 by 2 and 9 by 8. So this one. These two should be correct. Is this question okay to everyone? Can we move to the next one?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Okay. Give this one a try.
It should be 1.
Actually, there's nothing to do here
Yes,
because
ma'am.
yeah, this one is
Yes, ma'am, it's 1.
so you have been given that what's given, find the value of c if the roots of fx. So if your roots are alpha and 1 by alpha, and the product of roots we know is c by a, right? So you have to find the value of c. A is given to be 1. C by a, that means it's just c. That means your c is equals to 1. This was just too simple.
And
So you
alpha
could
has
be
to be
asked to find b
non-zero,
too.
right, ma'am?
Yeah, alpha has to be, this is not mentioned in the question. It has, if you've been given 1 by alpha, then it's obvious that it has to be non-zero because 1 by 0 is no number. So they don't need to mention it. This is not
One,
something which is missing in the
ma'am,
question.
one.
But yeah, the answer is 1. And if we were to find b as well, then how do you find b? You should have alpha plus 1 by alpha equals to minus b, right?
Can you explain this again?
Yes, ma'am.
Which one?
This.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay. So we know that the product of, let's say, alpha beta are roots. If these two are roots, then the sum of roots is given as minus b by a, right? Where b is, so if you will compare from here, where a is equals to how much? If you compare this equation to this equation, that a equals to 1, b is just b, and c is just c, right? So your a is 1. That means your alpha plus beta is minus b, but that's not required. And because you just have to find c, right? We have to find c. So alpha into beta should be c by a. That means it should be c. But your two roots are given to be not alpha beta, they're given to be alpha and 1 by alpha, right? So your beta is 1 by alpha. That means your alpha into 1 by alpha should be equals to c. So this would mean that your c is 1. And we were just asked to find c, right?
Still, the last part isn't clear. Alpha and 1 by alpha equals C.
Okay. The product of, if you have alpha beta as roots, then alpha into beta is c by a, right?
Yeah, that I.
Okay. And your roots where alpha and beta are roots of the equation, the quadratic equation. Now, what are your roots given to be? It says find the value of c. The roots are given to be alpha and 1 by alpha. That means one of the roots is alpha, the other root is 1 by alpha. That means beta is 1 by alpha. Right?
Okay.
That's
Okay,
what
so
we
roots are not given in the okay numerical. Yeah.
we have enough information to find b. So if we were to find b, because then you will have to solve alpha plus 1 by alpha. And this will be equal to minus b. But you can't, because alpha is also something that we don't know. This is also a variable, b is also a variable. And you only have one equation, two variables, you can't solve it. That means at most what you can do is you can write you can find b in terms of alpha, in terms of the roots. That's it. You can't actually find the value of b because the information is not adequate. Then coming to this one, give this one a try.
Ma'am, -1 and minus.
1 and 9. Option B.
Okay, let's see. So this says if the roots of the equation, this are given to be 8 and 2, and the roots of this other equation are given to be 3 and 3, then find the roots of this equation. Find the roots of this equation. And so firstly, we'll have, so the sum of the two roots is for equation. Let's call this equation 1. Let's call this one 2. Then for equation 1, if we do stuff, then we'll have, because we know that the sum of roots, these are the roots, right? 8 plus 2, sum of roots should be equals to minus b by 2a. Now comparing the coefficients, you see that in place of b you have p. That means you should have minus p by the coefficient of x square. Minus b by a simply means minus coefficient of x by coefficient of x square, right? So here the coefficient of x is p, so you'll have minus p, and here you'll have a. So a is just 1. That means your minus p should be equals to 10, or you can say p is equals to minus 10. So you have to find p, and then you have to find s from it. Because for you to be able to find the roots of this equation, you need p and s.
Ma'am, option B.
And for s, so because s is the c coordinate here. In this one, it's the constant one, right? C, by c coordinate, I meant this constant term. So because s is constant here, so for equation 2, we'll see the product of roots here. So the two roots are given to be 3 and 3. So we'll take the product of these two. Product of roots is given by c by a, right? So c here is the constant, where this is just the constant term by coefficient of x square, right? When you say c by a, this is what you mean. So your constant term is s here, and the coefficient of x square is 1. That means the s should be equals to 9. Now you have this equation x square. So required equation is x square plus p, which is minus 10. So it will be, this is it, right? Px plus s.
6 and
So
9.
it should be x square minus 10 plus 10x plus 9, right? So this is it. And so you need to find two numbers. This one's just easy. You need to find two numbers, and then the product is minus 10. The sum is minus 10 and product is 9. So
9 and
this
1.
can be Actually,
minus
minus
1 and
3 and
minus 9.
minus 1. Was a minus 9
From
and
9
minus 1.
and
Just
The
9 and 1.
numbers. Talking about splitting this into terms. So you have minus 9 and 1,
We need
minus 1, minus 9x and minus x.
minus
So
plus,
we have
which is minus
9.
10x.
Ma'am, it should be 9 and
yes,
1.
ma'am, 9 and 1. Option B.
Okay. So this
Oh, answer 1 and 9. Yeah.
minus uh,
That
but
should
you
be
want to take x
minus
minus 1.
1.
This is it. So you will have x
Minus 1,
minus
yes.
1, x minus 9. So your roots are going to be 1 and 9.
1 and 9. Yes, sir.
This gives you x equals to 1 or x equals to 9. So the correct option should be this one. Is this one clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
If anyone has any doubt anywhere, you guys can unmute yourself and ask. And if you don't have any doubts, then try this one.
And that x square minus 10x plus 9, we can also use quadratic formula there, right?
Yeah, you can use quadratic formula there. But it just seemed that the splitting the term just seemed easier to me. That's why I used that.
Okay. I solved this question yesterday.
Is anyone done?
B.
Okay.
Mm.
So try this one. This says Sachin and Rahul attempted to solve a quadratic equation. Sachin, let's say a quadratic equation is this: ax square plus bx plus c. And then Sachin made a mistake in writing down the constant term. That means Sachin has written this down. Instead of this, ax square plus bx plus writing down mistake in constant term, that means he's written constant term to be something else. And he has ended up with roots 4 and 3.
मैम suppose अगर x
And
square
6.
coefficient is a is not is equal to one, some other number, then what I do in this question?
Yeah, A is okay. We'll see. Let's just first get done with the question and then we'll take up this. If you're
Okay,
still left with any doubt, then we'll discuss. Okay, so your roots are 4 and 3, right? To this equation. Then coming to Rahul, he also made a mistake. He made a mistake in writing down the coefficient of x. So he made a mistake in this. And the roots he got is
We
3
take
and 2.
alpha plus beta from Sachin and alpha beta from Rahul.
Yeah.
So
So why are we taking alpha plus beta? Okay. Why are we taking alpha plus beta from here? The
because
question is to find the roots, the correct roots of the equation. You have to find alpha, the correct alpha and beta. Why are we taking? That means if let's say alpha beta are the roots of the correct equation. So this is your correct equation. Alpha beta are the roots of your correct equation. then we have two things. One is alpha plus beta, which is given by minus b by a, and alpha beta, which is given by c by a, right? Now, why are we taking alpha plus beta here? We're only going to take alpha plus, consider alpha plus beta from here. Alpha, because if you take alpha beta, you will get c naught by a. And this person has written the constant term incorrect. That means the information that you will get about alpha and beta from this one, from this equation is incorrect because this person has written this term wrong, right?
Right. Alpha plus beta is correct.
That's why you should be taking alpha plus beta because he has not made a mistake here. He has written both the coefficient of x square and x correct. A and B, he has noted down correctly. He has made a mistake here. That means we should only consider this one, minus b by a. And similarly for Rahul, we should take the product of roots, and actually not product of roots here. This will be 4 plus 3 because the roots here are 4 and 3, right? So 4 plus 3 is going to be minus b by a. And here the product, here we are taking the product of roots instead of sum of roots. So we'll do 3 times 2. Because product of roots is c by a. And sum of roots, if you'll take, that is b naught by a. But we don't need b naught, right? Because b naught is the incorrect one. The incorrect coefficient that Rahul has noted down. So we don't need that. That's why here we are taking the product of roots. Here we are taking the sum of roots. Now that means your minus b is equals to 5 to 7a. Or you can just say your b is equals to minus 7a. Right? And your c is equals to 6a. Now coming to this one, let's substitute these values here. This implies ax square plus bx plus c becomes, a remains as is, ax square plus b becomes minus 7a. So we're replacing b by minus 7a and we're replacing c by 6a. So we'll have 7ax plus 6a equals 0, right? Now what's the question? Your question is you have to find the correct roots of this equation. So, okay. So, and someone had a doubt in how do you find a and all and how do you get rid of this a. So you actually don't need to get rid of this a because you can get rid of this a from this equation. Now, if you have to solve, you have to find the roots of correct equation, right? And this is your correct equation. Correct equation. So you don't need a to find the roots of this equation, right? You can just take a common from each term. So you will get roots of correct equation. That is a x square minus 7x plus 6 equals 0. And we know that a is not 0 because whenever we talk about quadratic equations, this is obvious that you can't take a equals to 0. Otherwise, it will become linear, right? That means you can take a to the other side. That means your x square minus 7x plus 6 should be 0 because a is not 0, right? So instead of finding the roots of this equation, we simply find the roots of this equation and we don't need a for it. What are the roots for this equation?
X
1 and
square
6.
minus 6x minus x. Then we will get 6 and 1.
This leaves us with 5 and 2, right? So
1 comma 6.
this is going to give us two roots. So one is 6 and the other one is
1.
1.
Yes.
So the correct option should be
And
this one.
I
Hello, ma'am.
usually take a different approach, madam. Can you, uh, tell what is the limitation of that approach? Since 4 and 3 are the solution of, are the roots of one, Sachin's solution. So
Yes,
what I do is x minus 3 would be a factor, and similarly x minus 2 would be a factor. And then I form an
x
equation.
minus 4. Right. Correct.
That's, so we have another solution, another roots of the equation, then we can find the equation. And then from that we can know what is the c there and what is the x coefficient there. We can replace that and finally we get the right equation. So is there any limitation to that, or should I follow strictly this approach?
No, if you're doing that, that too is fine. What you'll do is, if you do it this way, you'll have x minus 4, x minus 3, but the catch here is that you'll have to put a constant there. Because
Hmm.
the such for such an equation, you'll have this, right? And this constant is not known yet. So then you will solve it, and comparing the coefficients, you can, what else is given to you? You'll have k missing, right?
You will have
And
here
then
k bracket x square minus 7 plus
and
12.
then we know that the coefficient of a and b is the coefficient of x square and x here and here are same. So you can find the coefficient of x and x square here, and I think they are
Hmm.
going to be in terms of k. The coefficient of x and x square will be in terms of k. And then from here, you can find the coefficient of x square and the constant term the similar way. Because it will be k1, x minus 3, x minus 2. This time. The coefficients of x square and the constant term, they are going to be in terms of k1. Right? So from here, you will have a in terms of k. And from here, you'll have a in terms of k1. And then what
So is this approach, like, will it work in the exam, or will I get stuck? Like,
for that, we'll have to see if we get stuck. Did you try this one? Did you get stuck anywhere?
yes, no, I got my answer. But suppose they ask for what is the right coefficient of, x and something like that.
You're actually not getting the right coefficients anyway, because the right coefficients are these, and we can't find them, right?
So, but I got my answer, x square minus 7x plus 6. If you solve that, we get an coefficient. Suppose you solve the first one, then you get the equation as a keeping as coefficient, then bracket x square minus 7 plus 12 for the first one.
This one,
x
what have you
square
got here?
x square minus 7 plus 12 minus 7x,
7x plus
7x plus
plus
12.
12.
This is equation
But
1.
where's the k? That's what I'm trying to say. When you have an equation and you've been given the roots of this equation, you will have to keep k. This is not the exact equation, because this equation also has roots. What were the roots? 4 and 3. This equation also has roots 4 and 3. If you'll have 2 times, if you multiply this entire equation with 2, that equation also has roots 4 and 3. If you multiply it with 3, that equation also has roots 4 and 3. So you've not gotten the exact equation, right?
Okay.
So if you're asked the exact coefficients, which you won't be asked because you can't find the exact coefficients.
Okay. So basically, this is the limitation of this approach.
Yeah, and that we have the same limitation here as well. You can't find the exact coefficients from here either, because the coefficients are in terms of a.
Okay.
Is that okay? Okay. So is this clear to everyone? Can we move to the next question?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So this is your next question. Give this one a try.
Three options are only, or fourth one is also.
It has only three options. That's fine. Let's see which one of these are correct.
Ma'am, what is starting approach in this question?
Okay, this is the general equation given for this graph, and
Yeah,
you have to find which one of these is correct, right? So just try to find the signs of A. Try to find what's the sign of A. That is, if it's positive or negative. Try to find
yeah,
B and try to find C. Try to find the signs. You just have to try to find the signs of these, positive or
yes.
negative.
And then
That's
multiply.
the approach. Yeah, and then multiply these things.
Okay,
Ma'am, option A and B seems to be correct.
Ma'am, A and B.
Let's see if these two are correct. So this is, if you have to find this thing greater than 0 or less than 0, that means you just have to find the signs of A, B, and C. And sometimes what happens is, if you have been given, because in every option you've not been given, there is no coefficient, that is A, B, C, whose power is always even. So if in every option you had AB square C cube, AB square C square, and AB square C5, that means you don't have to find the sign of B square, right? Because B square is always positive. That means you don't need to find the sign of B.
yes,
Now you
if
just
B,
need to find the sign of A and C. That's
yes, ma'am. B is also positive and C is also positive and A is also.
okay. Let's see if all of these are positive. So
Yeah,
this is an upward parabola. It opens upwards. That means your A should be greater than 0, right? That is positive sign. Then coming to B. So for B, you will need okay, let's see. Let's first come to C. Your C gives the y-intercept, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So if you substitute x equals to 0, how do you find the y-intercept? You substitute x equals to 0, so you'll get y equals to C. So the y-intercept of your parabola is y equals to C. And in the graph, what's your y-intercept? This is your y-intercept, right? 0, y-intercept. And since this is on the positive side of y-axis, that means your y-intercept is positive, right? So y-intercept positive, or you can say greater than 0, means the same thing.
It's between option A and C, right?
Okay, that means your C is greater than 0, positive sign. And then coming to the B1, so your B is
B is
okay.
the sum of the roots minus B by A.
Yeah, you can do it that way too, and
And ma'am, the roots are
you can
positive,
do it the
so
vertex way too. So your vertex is, this is the vertex, right? You
yes,
just
ma'am.
have to see where B is involved. B is also involved in sum of roots. B is also involved in vertex, right? Minus B by 2A is the vertex, the x coordinate of your vertex. You don't need the y1 here. So that means, and you can see clearly from the graph that your vertex is, so x coordinate of vertex, the x coordinate of vertex is negative, right? No, it's positive. y coordinate is negative of the vertex, y coordinate is negative, x is positive.
So vertex would be minus b by 2, right?
That means your minus b by 2a is positive. This would mean b by 2a is negative, right? I hope everyone is familiar with these things, that if you have a greater than b, then your minus b is less than minus a, right? So I should write xy here because ab might sound confusing. So, if x greater than y, your minus x should be less than minus y. Right?
And y greater than x, then minus y greater than less than x minus x.
It's just this inequality changes. If you're putting negative on both sides of the inequality changes. That's
Okay.
in simple words. If you're multiplying with a negative number, let's say you have x less than y, and you're multiplying with a negative number, let's say minus 3 by 2, x minus 3 by 2 y. This changes.
Greater than.
From here, if you multiply negative on both sides, you'll get minus of minus b by 2a. So b by 2a less than 0. Minus of 0 is 0 only. This would mean that your b is less than 2a, or you don't need this actually. Now the sign of a is positive, right? So, and a is greater than 0. This implies 2a is greater than 0, right? Now 2a is greater than 0, and this entire thing is less than 0. If you were to simplify this thing, this would mean b by 2a is less than 0, and 2a is greater than 0. And if you're multiplying with a positive number on both sides of the inequality does not change, right?
Yes, ma'am. We can multiply by 2a on both sides and a is
Yeah,
non-zero.
it's positive actually. That's why multiplying on both sides is not going to change the inequality. And your 3 by 2 x is less than 3 by 2 y. That means if you multiply, so we know that your b by 2a is less than 0. This would mean b by 2a times 2a is less than 0 times 2a. And the inequality does not change because your 2a is greater than 0. That's why it does not change. So this means your b should be less than
Zero.
0. That means the sign of b should be less than 0. So in conclusion, you have a greater than 0, b less than 0, and c greater than 0. Right? Your options were, so from here, if you see, a is greater than 0. B sign here does not matter because it's squared, so it's anyway positive. B square is positive. C
Positive,
is
positive,
positive. That
positive.
means this is positive. This is positive. This is also positive. That means this entire
Positive,
thing is positive. So this option should be correct. Now coming to the second one, A is
positive,
positive,
negative, positive.
B is positive, B is negative, right?
Negative, negative.
B is negative
Positive.
and it's cubed here. If B is
So
negative, B cube is also negative, right? See here, if the B is negative, this implies B to the power 2 or any even power is positive, and B to the power 3 or any odd power. You can replace this with an odd power. So any odd power of B is going to be negative, and any even power is going to be positive. So because you have odd power here, odd power of B, that means you will have negative here, and C squared is positive. That means this entire thing is negative. That means this option should be correct. Now coming to the third one, you have A as positive, B as negative, and C as positive. That means this entire thing should be negative. This results in negative, right?
So great.
But it says greater than 0. That means it should be incorrect.
But it should be 0.
Is this okay to everyone?
Ma'am, can you just repeat how we found the sign of B?
Ma'am,
So
can I apply this approach also, because I seen this graph. Graph is cutting positive x-axis, so root of this graph is positive, and then b is equal to alpha plus beta, and alpha plus beta is also positive because x-axis intercepts, positive x-axis intercepts, and c as well as find this approach, so
Yeah, you can use
easily
that
find.
approach too.
Yeah.
If instead of to find B, the sign of B, if instead of using the vertex, if you want to use this alpha plus beta approach, where you know alpha plus beta are the roots, and you can see from the graph that both the roots, this is alpha comma 0 and this is beta comma 0, because both alpha and beta lie on the positive x-axis. That means they're both positive. That means the sum is going to be greater than 0. This implies minus b by a is going to be greater than 0. And we already know that a is positive, right? That means your minus b is greater than 0 because a is greater than 0. And this would mean that your b is less than 0. This works too. Alternative approach for does anyone have any other doubt in this question?
ma'am, can you just tell me how you found the B1 with the earlier approach?
The vertex one,
X coordinate of vertex is greater than 0. Can you repeat that?
have, let's say this is your graph given, right? So the vertex is this, right?
Yeah,
And the x coordinate of this vertex is, okay, what's the sign of the x coordinate of this vertex, this point? Just the sign, we don't need anything else.
positive.
It's positive because it lies on the positive x-axis, right? Positive side of
Yeah,
x. And the y coordinate, though we don't need it, what's the sign of the y coordinate of this point?
it's negative.
It's negative. And your vertex is given by minus b by 2a, comma, we don't need the other part, y coordinate. So let's just focus on this one, right?
Yeah,
That means a minus b by 2a is greater than 0, right? Now, if your minus b by 2a is greater than 0, and we already know that a is greater than 0, right?
yeah.
So if I multiply, this is a key point to keep in mind. If you have any number x less than y, and if you multiply a on both sides, now how does the things change if I multiply ax and ay? Now, what should be the inequality, this one or this one?
The y is greater than x.
If this is given to you, then should it mean that this is, should I write this or this? Greater than or less than?
Ay is greater than ax.
And how do you decide that?
Because we have to divide a by both the sides, so we are left with x and y, and the relation between x and y is already given.
Okay, let's have a look at this thing. If you have 1, 1 is less than 2, right? Now, if I'll multiply minus 1 on both sides, I'll have minus 1 and minus 2. Now, I know that minus 1 is greater than minus 2, right?
Yeah,
So, if you're multiplying with a negative number on both sides, your inequality is this. This changes.
changing. Yeah,
And if you multiply with a positive number on both sides, then your inequality remains same, right?
yeah.
So, your ax, ay, when I ask this thing ax, ay, this or this depends on whether a is positive or it's negative, right?
Okay.
This is going to happen if a is positive, and this is going to happen if This should mean if you're minus b by, now I'm going to multiply by 2a on both sides of the inequality, right? This is the inequality, and 2a is
And
positive.
how did we get to the conclusion that minus b by 2a is greater than 0?
We just did it here, right? The vertex, the x coordinate of the vertex is on the positive side of x-axis.
Okay,
The
I
positive
understood it
side,
now.
this is
Yeah.
the negative side. Minus b by 2a is greater than 0. Multiply with 2a on both sides. So you'll get minus b here and 0 here. So minus b is greater than 0. Now you'll multiply with minus 1 on both sides. You'll get b less than 0, right?
Yeah.
That's it. So the minus.
Okay, thank you.
We move to the next question if everyone is clear with this one.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. This is the next question. Give this one a try.
It's an MCQ, man, right?
Yeah, it's an MCQ because you have been given the the information that you've been given. It by that information, there's only unique solution to this. You have a unique solution to this because you've been given enough information to find a unique solution. Let's try this one here, even if you guys are not done with it yet. So one of the
Option A
roots is,
only. Option A.
let's see, one of the roots given is what have you've been given that there's a quadratic equation, the coefficients are rational, and then the coefficient of x square is 1. That means you have x squared plus bx plus c. This is your quadratic equation. And then one of the roots is root 2 minus 1. So if one of the roots is, we know that the roots of quadratic equation are these, right? Minus b plus minus. So one is minus b minus square root of b square
B
minus
square
4ac
minus 4AC
by 2a, and the other root is minus b plus
plus
square root of,
minus
right, this. One of the roots is given to be this minus 1 plus, look at this as this minus 1 plus root 2. So that means if you write it properly, this is just minus b by 2a minus 1 by 2a square root of b square minus 4ac. So that means the root term, and this is minus b by 2a plus 1 by 2a square root of b square minus 4ac. Now what does this mean? What information do we get from here? This means that the non-root, the one that is not in this under root, it remains same, right? So if something is not in the square root, then it should be same. And if something is under the root, then the sign of that should change, right? This is under the root. The under the root term, for one root it has negative sign, for the other one it has positive sign. That means if you have this form, a plus root b, this only works when one of them is not under the root and the other one is under the root. Doesn't work when you have a plus b. Then you can't, because a plus b will then just get added up, right, to c, and then you wouldn't see the other, the square root term here, right? Are you getting my point? Okay,
Yes.
let's not go there.
Yes,
Let's just
yes,
stick to
ma'am.
this. If you have,
Roots is conjugated to each other.
yeah, if you have a plus root b as one root, then the other root should be a minus root b, right? Because the signs here are
Yes,
changing.
ma'am.
If
That's
you
a
have
property,
positive
ma'am.
here, yeah, that's a property. So here, if you've been given that one of the roots is minus 1 plus root 2, then the other root should be, or let's say if this one, because this one is just more comparable, if this is given to be minus 1 plus root 2, that should mean here you have a positive sign. Everything else remains as is. So this should be negative, right? So the
Ma'am.
other root should be minus 1 minus root 2. Or in simple words, if x plus root y is root of a quadratic equation, this implies x minus root y is also a root. Now you have two roots and you have to find the equation, right? So your equation will be x minus, if you have a and b as roots, then how do you find the equation? If you have, let's say, or if you not a and b, let's take x naught, x1 or x2. If x1 and x2 are roots, then you can write the equation as, the quadratic equation is x minus x1, x minus x2, and we have a constant here, obviously a non-zero constant equals to 0,
Yes,
where k
ma'am.
is not equals to 0. Is that okay? So if x1 and x2 are roots of quadratic equation, then you can find the quadratic equation, not the exact quadratic equation. You only k would be unknown to you. Everything else will be fine, right? So this will be the quadratic equation. For example, let's say if you've been given roots 3 and 2, then the equation will be x minus 3, or let's say 1 or 2. So you'll have x minus 1, x minus 2, and then multiplied with k equals to 0. So this will be x square uh, minus x and minus 2x. So this will be minus 3x and plus 2. So this is the equation, and then the equation will be this. Because if you have kx square minus 3kx plus 2k equals 0, the roots of this equation are also 1 and 2 for all k, except obviously 0. So if you take k non-zero, then the equation will be this. So that means x square minus 3x plus 2 equals to 0. Also have roots 1 and 2, and 2x square minus 6x plus 4 equals 0. This is also an equation, right? This also has the same root, 1 and 2. Now okay. So we were doing this one, and so one of the roots is minus. Now your roots are minus 1 and minus root 2, and 1 and minus root plus root 2, right? The equation should be k times x minus fx equals to k times x minus of minus 1 minus root 2 and x minus of minus 1 plus root 2.
Why to
So
take
this
such
will be,
complicated, approach when we know the sum of the roots, that's alpha plus beta minus b by a, that is equal to nothing but the sum
yeah,
of
you
these.
can do that too. So if
Because
you
this
do
might
the,
get complicated for.
you could have just
So
simply solved this one, and then you would have gotten the answer. You can use this one too, where you have the sum of
just in case if you're speaking something, yeah, we couldn't hear you.
no, I didn't say anything. We were the last time I got disconnected. We were at this point, right? So your a is given to be 1. It's given initially, right? That the coefficient of x square is 1. That means your a is 1. That means you have minus b here. So from here you'll have minus root 2 cancel. So you'll have b is equals to minus b. This will mean that your minus b is equals to minus 2. Or you can simply say your b is equals to 2. And then from the other one you'll have minus 1 minus root 2 times minus 1 plus root 2. The product of roots is given by c by a, which is just c because a is 1. So this would mean you'll have minus 1 squared, so 1, and then 2 root 2 squared, that means 2. So you'll have c equals to minus 1. Yeah, you can find things from here too. These collectively would imply that your equation is x squared plus 2x minus 1.
Plus 2x minus 1. Yes, ma'am. Option A.
Ma'am, here, like one of the roots is given, that is we know. So we can just put that on the options. Whichever will
Yes, ma'am.
satisfy,
Just
that will
substitute
be
it
the
and
correct
then we
one.
say.
If you're suggesting that we can just substitute this thing in the equations and test if it works,
Mm,
then
ma'am,
actually that is, yeah,
I am also do this, but fourth option is satisfying this, but this is
yeah,
not correct.
that's what I was gonna say. The other options can satisfy one root, right?
Yes.
It's possible that one of the options, the one root for this option is this and the other root is different.
Yeah, yeah, yes, ma'am.
So it's wait. If one of the roots is this, that's uh, that's actually not going to happen, because if one of the roots is root 2 minus 1, then the other root has to be the conjugate root. No, I think you must have made a mistake. That means the other options can't satisfy this root.
Ma'am, apart from this conjugative property, is there some other way to find out the another root?
There's no other way. Do we have do you have a problem learning this thing? Because it's very easy. You just have a, if you have this as root, then the other root is going to be this. That's it.
Okay.
I don't think there has, or what you can do is, what happens there is, because this is a quadratic function, and that's the only reason why this is going to work here. What I'm going to suggest, and I think someone else already suggested it, that you can try, if you don't want to get into the conjugate things, you can put this thing in each of these and test if which one of these is satisfied by this. So in this case, let's say if this gets satisfied by this, and we only have been given two conditions, right? One is the root is this, and the other is the coefficient of x square is 1. The coefficient for x square is 1 everywhere, and the other root is square root 2 minus 1, right? The root is this. So if this and this is only going to satisfy one of these. Why? Because if it satisfies the other one too, or wait, the other one should, this one should be correct. This is also correct.
Ma'am, this
Someone
is
said,
not correct actually. If we'll be putting the
okay, this
like,
is, we don't have a
Option
negative
A
symbol.
only.
and this will satisfy only one option.
Option A.
Option A is right answer. D is satisfying under root 2 minus 1, but not satisfying under root 2
If we are
minus 1.
putting on option
No,
D,
no,
we'll be
it's,
getting 6 plus 2, that is 8 minus 4 root 2, which is not
okay.
satisfying.
I thought this is just the negative of this. That's what I thought
Yeah,
this would be
yes.
correct as well. But this is, someone said that this is the root of this. And this cannot be a root of this, because if this is one of the roots, then the other root has to be minus 1 plus root 2. If you're saying that, and someone said that this happens to be the root of option D as well. This is not the root of option D.
Yes, ma'am, that is
Ma'am,
incorrect.
That's incorrect.
consecutive roots under root 2 plus 1 is not satisfying this.
Under root 2 plus 1 is not the conjugate root. Minus square root of 2 minus 1 is. This is not the other root. This is the other root. And secondly, none of the roots is going to satisfy, not this and not the conjugate one. So minus 1 minus root 2. One, this and this. None of these is going to satisfy this equation, because if one satisfies, then the other one has to satisfy. That's how conjugate pairs work. So this is incorrect. This is all the others are also incorrect. And this is, so if someone doesn't want to use the conjugate part, what you can do is you can simply try to substitute this thing in these equations
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
and
Plus
check
1.
which one is
I'm
correct.
putting that.
Yes,
That
ma'am. Only option A satisfies.
Okay.
Can we move to the next question?
So the next question is this one. This one. Actually, this doesn't need a try. It's a very simple question. So we discussed this in the summary session, right? That if your vertex is A comma B, let's say this is your vertex, then what does your equation, the parabolic equation, look like? It looks like this: y minus b equals x minus a squared, and obviously you're going to have a constant here, right? If this is the vertex.
ma'am is it is shifted along x-axis, upper side of A,
Yeah, it's shifted
and
both along x and y,
yeah, yes, ma'am.
b units up and a units right. So, but you don't need to know all of that. You just need to know that if AB is a vertex, then this is how your equation looks like. If you, so let's say if your vertex, let's
Basically,
test
A and
these
B is
options.
vertex is given.
Yeah. So if this is your equation, and it goes both ways. If this is your
That's
equation, then the vertex is
ma'am,
this.
ma'am,
That
that's
means
also a property.
what?
That's also a property,
The problem.
not a property, but yeah, this type of question many.
I I don't think I understand your question. What's the question? Okay, so if this is your parabola, then what should be the vertex? Just compare this thing to this and tell me what should be the only thing that you keep that you need to keep in mind is the coefficient of y should be 1 here. Here it should be 1. That means this thing you should have 1 into y, and here in the brackets you should have 1 into x minus a whole squared. So if this is your equation, then what should be the vertex?
10,6.
10,6.
Right. 10,6 is the vertex. Now let's take up the other one. It's the same one, right? So this option should be correct and this should be incorrect. Then coming to the third option, it's about perpendicular lines. So let's try to find the slope of these. So the slope first is option A. Coming to option C, So you need to find the slope of this. Just write y on one side and take everything else on the other side. So you'll have 5x plus 1. And the other equation is given to be. So from here, if you do, you'll have y equals x by 4 minus 1 times 5. These are the two equations that you have.
Not
Now
a
you have to find.
perpendicular, right? It's parallel line.
No, ma'am, it's not perpendicular. And we can do it by that. A,
A and B both are
A1 equal.
Sorry, what?
I was saying that we can do it by A1, A2 plus B.
Yeah, you can do it that way too. If there's this thing where you compare A1 by A2 and all of that, you can do that too. I don't know which one, which of the which one of the perpendicular and parallel uses this criteria, but that's a criteria. So you can use that, but it's just simpler because we've been doing this approach all along. So let's stick to this one where you have to find the slope of each of these. So if this and these are two equations, then the slope here is 5. The slope here is, what's the slope here?
Bye bye.
Slope of this equation 5 by 4. Neither are they perpendicular, nor are they parallel. Because 5 times 5 by 4
Ma'am,
is
it's not satisfied.
right.
Mm-hmm.
That you need, say, M1. Let's call this M1.
Option D.
Ma'am, your voice is very low.
Is it fine now?
Yes, ma'am.
For perpendicular, you need M1, M2 equal
M1,
to
M2 is
minus
equal
1.
to minus.
And for parallel, you need M1 equals M2. And none of this is true here. So this is incorrect. And then coming to the other one. So for the option, what's the slope of this line? Doing it the same way.
5 by 4.
Right. So the slope for the first one is going to be 5 by 4.
Second one is
And the slope here is
minus
say
5.
5 by
y
4.
on.
Same.
Right. So the slope in both the cases M1 and M2 is same.
Yes, ma'am.
M2 is also same, 5 by 4. So that means lines are parallel. So this option should be correct. Then we move to the
Yes,
next
ma'am,
question.
option
This
D
one's
is
fine.
correct. So, ma'am,
This
A
one
and
was,
D.
yeah,
Yes.
A and D. Does anyone have a problem here?
No, ma'am.
Let's do this question. This question is, it says that you've been given the equation of you've been given the quadratic equation and the vertex is given to you as 3 comma minus 2 and its y-intercept is also given. So y-intercept is 4. That means, and we've already discussed this, y-intercept means c here. If you have ax squared plus bx plus c, then the y-intercept is, you put x equals to 0 and find the value of y. That means your y-intercept is c. That means, and with the information that we have, it means we have c equals to 4. And the vertex is 3 by 3 comma minus 2. So that should mean that your minus b by 2a is 3. And now this would mean that your b is equals to minus 6a. And if you'll put b equals to minus 6a here, you will have, max you don't put it here.
Ma'am, actually, we can make it in the vertex for y plus 2 is equal to k x minus 3, the
Yeah,
whole
you can
square.
do that too. If
And from there we can
for
find the
this one,
y-intercept.
y plus 2 equals x minus 3 squared k times. Then first you're writing it as this, and then so what do we have to find? Due to a recording error, the coefficient b, then you'll have to solve this entire thing, right? Y plus 2 equals k, and this will be x square minus 6x plus 9. So this will be y equals kx square minus 6kx plus 9k minus 2. So
And the
from here
value
you
of
have,
k,
yeah,
can we know that? Because we know the
yeah, we
intercept.
know c, right? So we have 9k minus 2 because this is c, right? So
9k minus 2 is 4.
p equals to 6 by 9, which is
2 by 3.
2 by 3.
done with this, right? So we need, yeah, the exact equation now. Yeah, instead of trying, because this way is also fine, but it might take some time. It might be longer than this method. So from here you'll have, because your k is equal to this means your fx is equal to kx square, that means 2 by 3 x square minus 6 times 2 by 3. So it will be, this is 2, so it will be 4x, and then 9 times 2 by 3. So this will be 6, right? Right. So this is the equation. And then this says find the absolute difference between the sum of the roots of the incorrectly recorded. So due to a recording error, the coefficient of b was written 5. Written with all that function gx. So gx is 2 by 3 x square, and someone has made a mistake in writing the coefficient of x, and they've written it as 5, right? So b has been written as 5, whereas d here is minus 4. So instead of minus 4, you do 5 here. That's 6. And then you have to find the absolute difference between the sum of the roots of the incorrectly recorded and the correct quadratic equation. So you have to find, okay, the difference between some of the roots. So let's say the roots here are, let roots be alpha beta here, and let roots be alpha 1 and beta 1 here. Then you have to find alpha plus beta minus alpha 1 plus beta 1, and the absolute difference. Absolute difference means the difference without sign. So if this is 3, this is 2, and we don't know if we need to take 3 minus 2 or 2 minus 3, right? That's why we have been asked to find the absolute difference, which is the same for both of them, right? Either you do 3 minus 2 or 2 minus 3. So that's why you've been asked absolute difference to get a unique answer. So alpha plus beta from here is, sum of roots is given by minus b by a. So it's 4 by a, which is 2 and 3 here. So you'll have 6. And then here, if alpha 1, beta 1 are roots, that would mean your alpha 1 plus beta 1 should be equal to minus b by a again. So 5, that will be 15 by 2. The negative side. So one you have 6 and the other one you have 15 by 2. So it should be 12 minus 15.
1.5.
This is just 3 by 2, or in decimal, you have 1.5. Is this okay?
Ma'am, actually, I didn't understand it.
Okay. We'll repeat this thing. Can we start from the very beginning, or is there any particular part that you didn't get?
Very beginning.
Can we do from the start?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you've been given that the quadratic equation is of this form, right? And there are two things that are given to you. One is the vertex, and the other one is y-intercept. There are obviously other ways to do it, but the simpler one is this one. What you do is, we've already discussed this thing that if your vertex is, if a comma b is vertex of your quadratic equation, then your quadratic equation is y minus b equals k times, where k is a constant, right? And we don't know that constant. To find this constant, you need another information about this quadratic equation, right? So what happens
Yes.
is, when you have this information, you can only find till this part where k is unknown. K is not equals to 0 and it's unknown. If you have been given another information, then you can find k2, right? So, and you have been given another information, which is this, that the y-intercept is 2. So your quadratic equation is this. From here you get, because your vertex is 3 and minus 2, right? So we've done the same thing here, y plus 2, x minus 3, and we've solved this thing till this part, right? And
Okay.
the equation was given in the form of ax square plus bx plus c, right? Where the
Yes.
your y-intercept is given to be 4, right? How do you find the y-intercept? You put x equals to 0 and find the value of 1. So in this equation, if you put x equals to 0, this is 0, this term becomes 0, this term becomes 0, you're left with 9k minus 2, right?
Yes.
So y-intercept is 9k minus 2. But the question says that your y-intercept is 4, right?
Yeah.
That means your 9k minus 2 should be 4. And then you solve for k, because that's the only missing part. You found the entire equation, quadratic equation. The only missing part is k. We don't know k. And we have found k from here, right?
Yes.
Is it clear till this part?
Yes.
Now, your question further says that, let's say someone made a recording error. That means they wrote the coefficients wrong. And what is the error? They've written the coefficient of x incorrect. So instead of what was the coefficient, they've written 5. That means the coefficient is minus 4 here, but they've written 5, right? So this is the incorrectly written equation, and this was the correct equation. And what have you been
Okay.
asked? You've been asked to find the absolute difference. Absolute difference means when you've, so the meaning of absolute difference is
We write the equation in modulus.
difference of x and y, right? So the absolute difference of x and y is x minus y with a mod sign, so that it doesn't matter which one is greater, right?
Yeah.
If the roots of this equation are alpha 1, beta 1, and the correct one, the roots of those are, that equation are alpha and beta. The sum of roots is given by minus b by a, right? What's minus b by a from here? So minus b is 4, a is 2 by 3. So 4 divided by 3 by 2, so you get 6 here. That means sum of roots should be 6. So alpha plus beta should be 6. And from here, you will get the sum
Okay.
of roots equal to minus 15 by 2 in similar manner. And you have to find
Yeah.
the absolute difference between the sum of roots of the correct one and the incorrectly recorded one, right? That means you have to find alpha plus beta. This is of the correct one, and this is of the incorrectly recorded one, right?
Yeah.
That's it. That's what we are.
Okay. Thank you.
This one is clear. Can we move to the next question?
Ma'am, how can I
Yes.
apply vertex approach? Please explain.
Okay. For the
Ma'am,
vertex approach, yeah,
ma'am, can I know how many questions are left?
1 second. So I think we have this one, and then I think there are only 2 questions, right?
Okay,
Two
okay.
left. For the vertex approach, you have ax square plus bx, and we already know that the constant term was 4. Till this part we were done, right? Then you have minus b by 2a equal to the vertex, and it's given to be 3, right?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Okay. This means your b is minus 6a,
Ma'am,
and
minus b by 2a and 2 we multiply 3. So minus b by a is equal to alpha plus beta,
if
and alpha
you want
plus
to
beta
use the
is
alpha plus beta approach, it's
also alpha plus beta also is equal to b.
but we don't know alpha beta yet, right? Alpha beta are also variables.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
So A, B are also variable, alpha beta also variables, and how are you going to solve? That's why we're not using that one. Yeah.
Okay, ma'am. So next, what next step?
So you get B is equals to minus 6a, right? And then what you do is you take F3 equals. So because how do you find the vertex? The x coordinate of the vertex is 3, right? X coordinate of the vertex is 3. So the y coordinate should be F3, right? And the y coordinate is given to be 3 comma minus 2. That means your f3 is equals to minus 2. Now let's try to find f of minus 3. This is fx, right? If you will put 3 here, you will get 9a plus 3b plus 4 equals minus 2, right? And then from here you have, now you have two equations in two variables. You have b equals to minus 6a from here. Put that thing here. Put b equals to minus 6a. So you will have 9a plus 3 minus 6a, that will be minus 18a plus 4 equals minus 2. You can take 4 on that side. So you'll have minus 6, right? From here you'll have minus 9a equals to minus 6, or you can say a equals to 2 by 3. That's the same thing. By that approach also, we've got a equals to 2 by 3. So
Okay,
you'll have
ma'am.
a
Yeah.
equals to 2 by 3. That would mean your b is equals to minus 6 times 2 by 3. So this will be 4 minus 4. That's it. And then it's the same from here.
Yeah, yeah. Same
Same
question
thing.
again. Thank
Yeah.
you, ma'am. Thank you.
The right another approach here.
Just a clarification. This meeting is actually in the YouTube now, right? Or it's getting through the Google Meet?
It will be on YouTube.
Okay, thank you.
Same channel. Okay. Then coming to the next question. This is the next one. And so you've been given the equation of a quadratic function where a is greater than 0. This one's very simple. So you have to find which of the possible, obviously you can't find the function because there's not enough information. You've only been given that a is greater than 0. And then you've been given that one of the roots is 2. So using these two things, you have to find the equation. So this is automatically incorrect because it says a is greater than 0. And this is also incorrect because in both these cases, a is negative. Then we're left with these two options. And you can see that only one of these could be correct because only your constant is varying. That's why we can check that only one of these options could be correct. That means it's an MCQ type question.
Yes,
Second
ma'am.
is,
Put in values.
And then you can just, you can substitute x equals to 2 here. So if you substitute option 3, if you substitute x equals to 2, you will get 2 times 4 minus 5 times 2 is 10 plus 2. So this will be 0, right? This implies
Yes, ma'am. Option 3.
this is correct. And then for this is C option. And then for the D option, you'll have, as we've discussed, if this one is correct, the other one cannot be correct, obviously. Because if substituting 2 gives 0 here, then substituting 2 here can't give you 0 because these two terms are same and only this one is varying. But let's just see.
Also, the
If
C
you
and the
want
C
to do
is
it,
different in the option D, +4, whereas
yeah,
our that
that's also
equation is
correct.
plus.
It's also a valid point to eliminate this option, which is your coefficient. The constant term is given to be 2, and here it's 2. This one is obviously incorrect. That's also correct. Okay. Next question. It says the values of m plus n. You have to find m plus n if the sum of roots and the product of roots of this equation are 3 and 2. So sum of roots is 3. That means if alpha 1 is a root, okay, the sum of roots is 3. And sum of roots is equal to minus b by a, right? That means the coefficient of x minus of coefficient of x divided by coefficient of x squared. So this will be coefficient of x is 4n plus 3, negative, negative. So this is it. And the coefficient of x square is 5m plus 5. This is equal to 3. That means your 4n plus 3 equals 15m plus 15. This is first equation. And the second equation is that the product of roots is 2. So if product is 2 and product is equal to c by a, right? So this is c. This is c. This entire thing is b. And this is a, right? So this should be equal to 10 by 5m plus 5. Which means that 10m plus 10 should be equals to 10. And this would mean that your m should be 0. And coming to this one, let's substitute m equals to 0 in 1 to find n, right? So if you'll put m equals to 0, you'll get 4n plus 3 equals 15. This means your 4n is 12, or you can simply say your n is 3. And you have to find m plus n, right? Is 3. Okay. Is this one clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am. Clear.
Yes, ma'am, clear.
Okay. So if there are any doubts in any of the questions that we've discussed so far, till now, you can ask. Next, we can end this session here.
No, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Guys, bye.
Thank you, ma'am.